I've Had It is brought to you by Peloton. Find your zone with a 30-day worry-free home trial of Peloton bikes. Visit onepeloton.com/home-trial. So are we supposed to start the podcast?
Ready? 1, 2, 3.
Judge Judy Diana strikes again.
One time wasn't enough that time.
Yeah, you don't have to.
I know, but I like it. I
think that was overkill.
I know, but I liked it.
Okay, what have you had it with?
What I've had it with is Bridezillas. And we've talked about Bridezillas before, but this was a new thing that I just learned.
A new Bridezilla discovery?
A new Bridezilla discovery.
Lay it on me.
They are now, when you RSVP to a wedding, they're having you pay like a cover charge to come to the wedding. And so they're inviting the guest. You have to pay a double cover charge for the guest. And then this article I read, not only that, after you pay a cover charge, you pay a guest cover charge, cash bar. Then at the end of the night, when you go to close out your tip, they add the location fee to each guest's tab equally so that the guests are paying for the location. That is a level of narcissism I couldn't even imagine. I mean, that is class A insane.
Let me process this. They were charging the guests for the wedding.
Yes, they were charging the guests for the wedding. The guests paid for the wedding.
How many people showed up?
I think it was like 110.
110 morons.
110
enablers.
That's exactly what I thought. When the story was unfolding, I thought when I had to pay a fee to RSVP, I would have un-RSVP'd.
That is fucking nuts. Okay, let me tell you what I've had it with.
Okay.
You go out to eat, you're with about, I would say, 4 or more people, somewhere between 4 to 8. Okay. And then 3 entrees come out, and everybody sits there looking at the 3 people that have their entrees. And you say, no, you guys go ahead. And they're like, no, we'll wait. You wait 10 minutes. You wait 20 minutes. And then finally the other people's entrees come out. I have had it with untimed entree delivery.
I could not agree more. I think it's unbelievable. See, the Karen in me would have solved that problem immediately. It would have never gotten to the 3-minute mark.
This is where your flirtation with Karenism, I want to scold you. I want to mold you to be not a Karen. But as Kylie and I have experienced now, traveling with you for the hot shit tour, and people aren't doing their shit, you kind of get up and you're the asshole, and then I can kind of make, roll my eyes to the waiter like I'm the good guy. And it's really working out great for me.
I know. Every group kind of needs a little bit of a Karen.
It's working out really well for me because you're the asshole.
Right.
And normally, like on this podcast, I'm the asshole. And I
generally at all other times.
Generally at all other times, except for when I deal with service people. I'm a lot nicer than you are in those situations.
I feel like I'm not a rude Karen. I'm just firm.
You're firm.
But I'm not rude.
I've seen you be rude.
Have you?
Yeah, I have. But listen. You are the star of the show.
Shut up.
You are Judge Judy Diana. And, everybody has some character flaws,
right.
And yours is this flirtation with Karenism.
Among many others.
Yeah. So anyway, welcome to I've Had It. I'm Jennifer.
I'm Angie.
She's the star of the show. She's the Princess Diana of podcasting. She's also the Judge Judy of podcasting. She's also one of this country's greatest legal minds.
Shut up.
No.
That's a lie.
Kylie, what's up?
Not much, but now that I've traveled with Pumps before and experienced the Karenism being on my side, when I travel alone and something's going down, I'm like, where's Pumps?
Yeah.
I need my mom.
Yeah. Yeah.
Have you seen me be rude or just firm?
I think all Karenism comes across as rude. What you deem firm is what my generation deems rude.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's fair.
If that makes sense.
That's fair.
Yeah. I agree with that.
I have an incredible review to read for you.
Okay.
Oh,
It's by Waffle House Lover 8733.
Okay.
5 stars. Title is Slayed Too Hard.
Ew.
They say, darlings, you simply must check out I've Had It because it's gayer than a pride parade during a disco fever. These queens are serving more fabulousness than a rainbow explosion in a unicorn boutique. It's like listening to a sassy cabal of glitter-encrusted, rhinestone-studded divas dishing out the sassiest quips and scandalous tales, with enough sparkle to outshine the Eiffel Tower at sunset. Their banter is as fierce as a lip-sync battle, and their laughs are as infectious as confetti at a drag ball. So if you're in search of a podcast that's gayer than a 3-day weekend in Provincetown, honey, this is your holy grail. Tune in and prepare to sashay, chante, and laugh your fabulous heart out.
I love that. That touches me.
That is beautiful.
Yes.
Especially considering a few episodes ago, I was accused of being a centrist.
Right.
That is beautiful.
Yes, that was really
That's the
sweet.
feedback that I need. It's beautifully written.
Yes.
It is a cause that we deeply feel strongly about and passionate about being allies, and to be recognized in such a beautiful 5-star masterpiece.
Poetic.
It's totally poetic. I just feel like, I hope this isn't the peak.
I know. But that does make me feel really good, like my little warm heart.
I mean, you know what? Waffle House, if you can warm the heart of Judge Judy Diana that flirts with Karenism and is still wrestling with if it's rude or not, then you have really, really done something special. Look at how she's smiling so big.
I know.
Listener.
My cheeks hurt. That was really sweet.
It really was. It really was. Well, listener, let me tell you, today we have some guests that we're so excited to host. And they are the hosts of the Good Guys podcast. And I cannot wait to ask them if indeed they are good guys.
It's a great question to ask.
Let's welcome Josh Peck and Ben Soffer. Pumps, don't take this the wrong way, but I know you're a total hypochondriac.
I really don't think I am.
You totally are. You go to the doctor more than anybody I know, switching doctors constantly. And I have to tell you, I have found the perfect app for you. It's called ZocDoc. ZocDoc is a free app where you can find amazing doctors and book appointments online. We're talking about booking appointments with thousands of top-rated, patient-reviewed doctors and specialists. You can filter specifically for the ones who take your insurance, are located near you, and treat almost any condition you're searching for. Imagine having such a tool at your fingertips. If your child has some sort of weird ailment, you're able to go to this app, narrow it down, figure out who takes your insurance, poof, you're in to see a doctor. Listener, I use this and you should too. Go to ZocDoc.com/I've had it and download the ZocDoc app for free. Then find and book a top-rated doctor today. That's ZocDoc.com/I've had it. ZocDoc.com/I've had it. All right, let's welcome to I've Had It the guys from the Good Guys podcast, Josh and Ben. And I have to ask right out of the gates, are you good guys? Or are you kind of assholes?
Honestly, I think we're as good as they come. We're as good as they come.
We're good, not great.
Exactly. Good, not great. But yeah, we're good guys. We're good. You're great.
I'm fine. We're doing fine. Guys just didn't have the same ring.
Yeah.
Right.
No, it didn't.
Josh and Ben, I would like to hear what you all have had it with. Josh, you go first.
Okay. I have notes. What have I? Okay, first one.
Listener, he just pulled out a list, so this is going to be good.
The first thing I've had it with are yoga instructors who think they're spiritual giants. Babe, you took a 3-month course. You're 23. You do coke on the weekends. I don't need your fucking advice. Okay. Just give me a good workout. I want to get the hell out of here. Okay. I don't need your input on the way I'm living.
And all that they're going to do, they're always promoting natural births, aren't they? Right? Like, they're going on Instagram and they're like, yeah, I just popped out my kid in my jacuzzi. You all should do it too. And it's like, I don't know if you should. Like I don't know if that's right. Like, isn't a hospital a safer place than your bathtub?
God bless any woman's birthing journey, but I do worry about who cleans up the pool after, right?
Yes.
Like the placenta pool. Well, who's cleaning that? It's gross.
We've been canceled, just FYI, in the interest of full disclosure. We've been canceled by the placenta eaters online because we went after that because we've had it with the placenta eaters. That's one step of the process. But to post it on the World Wide Web that you're eating your placenta is an extra layer of crazy. So that group of people have canceled us, and the home birthers have canceled pumps in particular.
Yeah, I've been called out many times. Because I'm just like, who wants to sit in the shit that just came out of your body that had a baby in it? No, thank you. I'm out.
Or if you're going to do it, to your point, you don't need to tell me. Do it. Do it. That's great. Eat your placenta. Right? Like, it doesn't matter. Like, cut off your baby's hair and eat it. Put it in a smoothie. You don't need to tell me. You can be a freak without telling me.
Right.
Yeah.
I want to be canceled by those same people. Sounds like a great club.
How about this? My wife had a C-section, and so, they have the dumb husbands wait outside for 40 minutes as they prepare the mothers because they're like, you literally have no role here at all. So finally they bring me in. I'm like, let's go. Let's have a baby. They're like, this fucking guy. And so we're in the middle of the delivery, and like the baby's almost out, and I go, babe, push. They're like, it's a C-section, schmuck. They're like, don't push. I was like, gotcha.
Yeah.
So Ben, what have you had it with?
So many things. I've had it though, really had it, and I wonder if you guys have experienced this in Oklahoma City. I've had it with these iPads and tablets that encourage tipping in places where tipping is not necessary. It's not necessary. It goes for all of the coffee houses. It goes for the juice press. I'm not paying for a $17 smoothie and then tipping. It just was never a thing. It was never, ever a thing. I'm going to tip well in a restaurant? Of course. I'm going to tip well to a taxi driver? Of course. Right? But this idea that I now need to tip everywhere. I was at CVS. CVS has tipping at self-checkout. I've had it. Who am I tipping? And they're going to trick people too, right? Because every single time you see it, oh, would you like to give an extra 20%? You're like, oh shit, am I supposed to do it?
Right.
They're guilting you, lining their pockets. I don't know if it ever goes to the employee that I tipped. Does Juice Press give it to their employees? I'm so sorry that I'm like dragging Juice Press. I totally didn't mean to. And they have like great smoothies, but I'm just using them as an example. This phenomena of the tablet, of the iPad, the tipping, it's too much. I'm not tipping for coffee because you told me to. If I have a loose one, no problem. That's going right in your jar. Otherwise, I'm sorry. I can't. I've had it.
No, I think there is major tipping fatigue. I think it's a total grift. And we're huge tippers. When I was in college, I waited tables. Pumps waited tables. We have had these types of jobs. So I mean no disrespect to anybody that works in the service industry because it is hard work. However, this is corporate grifting and consumer exploitation where they're like, you know what, Starbucks, I mean, that fucker has made billions of dollars, doesn't pay his employees well, but somehow then they spin the iPad around and then you're standing there with this moral dilemma. Do I fuck over this working class person? So I think we all have to unite. And tell these corporations to stop grifting off of us and pay people a livable wage because Kylie looked it up. The minimum wage in this country has not been raised in like 15 years. Can you imagine that? 15 years.
Yeah.
Terrible.
It's nuts. They also, I hear like the big knock against unions is like the federal government should be the only union and it should give a livable wage to every person in this country.
No, it's awful. The tipping does make you feel guilty. I went to the cleaners yesterday and I was picking up some clothes and they wanted a tip and I felt like an asshole, but I'm like, you went and you grabbed it off the hanger. It's not like you pressed it.
The cleaners is wanting a tip now?
Cleaners.
Oh, fuck.
Everyone wants a
Everybody.
tip. It's built into this like SaaS software that everybody has purchased. I think it's honestly, I don't think it's the establishment. I think it's whoever made the tech of the iPad had this built in, and then all of a sudden the laundromat or the dry cleaner was like, oh, maybe some schmuck will give me a tip. Why not leave it on? Why not leave it on? Because they could just get an extra $100 a day in people feeling bad that they didn't just tip the person for taking the dry cleaning off the hook and handing it to the person. But it really is creating incredible guilt.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, Ben, there's something I want to talk to you about. When we got like your intros, it said like to describe how you were to be introed, and it said entrepreneur. And something that I've noticed lately, and this is no disrespect to you, but I wanted to get everybody's feedback on this. Do you all think there's some entrepreneur fraud going on online?
Yes.
I feel like every motherfucker is an entrepreneur.
Yes, there is. I will say, as a legitimate entrepreneur that has built and launched an alcohol company called Spritz Society, yes, it's here, that people do like to use it within the hustle culture category. That they think that because they have an idea or like some random like failed newspaper venture that they're an entrepreneur. And I will say, I agree with you. People are tossing around that term too much. So often I'll even hear people say, oh, I majored in entrepreneurship at college. And I'm like, what the fuck what does that even mean? How do you major in entrepreneurship? That's like saying, it's like the most broad, it's like the new sociology. It's sociology for business, saying you went to entrepreneurship school, right? Because the idea of being an entrepreneur is having an idea and building it and taking it. But you can't learn about that in school. It's too all-encompassing. So I totally agree with you. People are nuts. But not me, of course.
No, it's like I'm on Instagram and then I'll end up like, you know how you connect? You're like, well, who's this person tagged here? So then you click on that and you're like, well, who's that tagged there? And then you get to somebody and it's like, I've just passed through about 17 entrepreneurs on this deep IG troll that I'm toxically on right now. And there's no way that all of these people are entrepreneurs.
Right.
And then I've met people recently and I'm like, well, what do you do? And they're like, I'm an entrepreneur. And I'm just thinking, you know what? I think I'm going to start saying, I'm an astronaut. I work for NASA. You know, I mean, you know, Trump said he was 6'3", 215. I mean, I just think now everything's, I kind of want to be crazy at some point. I want to be like, yeah, I'm 6'3", 215 and an astronaut for NASA. Fuck off.
I forgot about that. That was really crazy. 6'3", 215.
Yeah,
Like,
that's nuts.
That's nuts.
That's Tom
Like
Brady.
if you're gonna lie, like keep it within a good standard deviation. Like you guys were on our podcast, you were talking about the AAU folks. Like if a kid says that he's 6'6" and he's 5'5", there's a huge problem. Like
Right.
you can't. Like
I love when Trump golfs because that's when we know we're going to get to see the real bod. You know, he's going to wear that tucked-in shirt, that dumb white polo, the red hat, and I'm just going to be like, yeah, let me see them rolls, Poppy.
to
Love him.
his
Best.
credit though, great. He turns great through the golf swing. He's a good golfer.
He's a good golfer. He lies when he plays golf. That's
Totally.
the
Right,
thing.
he lies.
That's what that is what I've heard. That is what I've heard. I'm just saying he has a nice swing. That's all.
You know, I will say the one thing is like, you know, I hate the ageism and like people will attack our president for being older and then like forget that Trump's only like 3 years younger. But I will say there's something about Trump that seems vital. Like I got to give him that.
I think it's because crazy seems more alive
Right.
than sanity.
That's right.
You know, I mean, like we were used to when we grew up, you had like George H.W. Bush, the smart Bush, not the dumb one. And he was very academic and he spoke very academically. And he was a very boring president. And now it's gotten, and Biden kind of is that way. You know, he's more academic, he's more nuanced. And then you go to Trump and it's like, man, this is a firecracker, man. He's fucking crazy. Pumps his number one pastime. I'm not kidding you guys. The minute we leave here, she goes home and pets on her algorithm. And all it is, her full hobby is the Trump indictments. She listens to every podcast. When we're on tour, I look over and it's like the indictment of Donald Trump. In between filming with you all, we were on their podcast. I mean, Pumps is like, oh my God, Sidney Powell just pleaded guilty. That's the Kraken lawyer. And she updates everybody in the podcasting studio like we're all waiting with bated breath. It is her full-time hobby, full-blown Trump indictment watch.
Well, that much crazy in one place is just, it's wildly entertaining. And now he's getting like sweaty. I mean, you can tell he's decompensating and getting even crazier, like with the sweat. And then he said that he had a better body than Joe Biden. Well, I'm like, you have 3 bodies compared to Joe Biden.
How about hard body karate? He crushed his mugshot. I mean, that was incredible.
He nailed it.
I mean, that just like,
It was hard. It went hard.
it was perfect. That was merch. That's millions of dollars in merch in that moment.
I think that he claimed $9 million. Like, of course, I have all the facts. $9 million on the merch. But an aide said he stood in the mirror for 7 hours perfecting his mugshot photo.
I'm going to give credit where credit's due. He fucking nailed it. Like
Nailed
I was
it.
Nailed
waiting.
it.
I remember I was in an airplane and I'm like refreshing because I thought they were going to weigh him and measure him. So
Right.
I was like, like Pavlov's
It's not
dog.
a
My mouth
physical.
was watering, waiting for the weight to come out because I knew it would be, embarrass him. Well, he got to self-report. So obviously he puts in Tom Brady's height and weight. But when I saw the mugshot, I was like, okay, I mean, you did a pretty good job. I mean, it looks like a total organized crime boss. And that's what he is. And he did such a good job nailing the mugshot.
It was serving. It was serving.
Okay, let's go on. You guys wrote about overly edited photos on
This
Instagram.
is a great one.
Go off.
I met this woman recently who was just adorable. And I was like, and she tagged me in something on Instagram. I was like, let me see how homegirl's living. Let me see how she's spending her Sunday. Does she do brunch? I go on her page. It might as well have been another person. I was like, this is not the same person. Like, what I want to say to these people is like, we're going to meet one day, right? Like, I'm going to see you in person with my eyes. Like, and then I have to make a decision that you're a crazy person on some level, and you live in this delusional world that on the internet I'm one person. I'm a cosplay, quasi AI anime generated human, and in real life I'm just Diane.
There is a huge difference between a lightly cinched waist, like,
Right.
it was a good photo. Like,
Yeah.
we took a photo yesterday and I said to you, I'm like, I look like a whale. So, like I sent the photo to my wife, Claudia, and I said, just push it in a little. Just push it in to make me look like myself.
I
Because
posted the original. I'm sorry, Ben.
Well, then there's going to be two versions. But you'll be able to see that the difference between one version and the other version is really not that dramatic, right? It's just a slight something maybe to make yourself feel better. The full edited, to your point, I'm going to see you. I'm going to meet you. I know that you don't look like this. And there was, I guess that it also existed in the age of social media and all of these tech tools, but not quite to the same level. Catfish. Like these people look completely different. Like, how do you change your face like that? But also, it's not even the apps. It's also makeup. I've come across some very scary TikToks. Very scary. Where you see a person and then by the end of the video, oh, that is a different person. Contour can literally affect the way that their nose looks. Like they go from having a big juicy nose to this perfectly shaved down. It's frightening, the skills of makeup.
Let me ask you this question. If you I know you're both married, but if you were going to do a dating profile, would you put the best picture of yourself, highly edited, or would you put just a normal picture of yourself, anticipating that when you saw somebody in person, you'd be cuter?
I'd like to think that because we're good guys, if I was single, I wouldn't post a picture of me and my bass fish. But I have no idea, right? I have no idea. Single me could be such a crazy douche. And I'll never know because I've been with my wife for the last 11 years. So I don't know. But I would say, it would be an average photo. So they're impressed when they meet me. Definitely me and my dog so that they know that I'm a lover of him. And that she's going to need to share me. And not a perfect photo because then it's all downhill from there.
Right, I agree.
You?
Yeah. Yeah,
You would put up a perfect photo.
First of all, I think I'd crush it on dating apps just because I'm probably a hard 7, but I'm down to settle. I love compromise. For real. If you tell me you're a CVS pharmacy tech with a 6 toe and a lot of courage, I'm like, babe, let's go eat at a Buffalo Wild Wings and see what transpires. Yeah, sometimes I've seen, I think it's on Raya, the famous people dating app, where what'll happen is a bit of a slideshow, a 15-second 5 photos that kind of every 3 seconds a new photo comes up, and it's very well curated. So it'll be someone in workout gear and then in their professional gear and one with a dog and then one in Santorini. For me, I would make it all from the same photo shoot and just different faces, just one of those, just coy, mischievous. So yeah, I would try to do something that looked like, I think you can take a nice photo during like magic hour, you know, at 5:30 in the afternoon when that beautiful sort of sepia light is coming through, where you can look nice, but it doesn't look like you had a team at Adobe work on the photo. You know?
Ben, you were talking about like you'll see a picture of yourself and tell your wife to like cinch your waist in. Don't we all kind of have this image of ourselves that I think we probably say around 28, and that's where we looked our best, and that's locked into all of our brains. And then like somebody will FaceTime me, and I'm like, oh my God, who is that middle-aged woman staring back at me? Because in my mind, I'm like still like 28, and I play tennis, I play pickleball, I feel great, I don't feel old. Now Pumps, she talks all the time about how old she is. It drives me fucking crazy. You know who's your age?
Who?
Jennifer Lopez.
Well, I mean, obviously that's an apt comparison.
But she doesn't walk around and be like, oh my God, I'm so old. I'm old enough. I'm surprised you haven't told these two I'm old enough to be
You're
your
the
mother.
one that's always telling people that you're much younger than me.
Yeah, I am much younger than
She's
her.
the one
Thank
that
you for
always
bringing
brings it
that
up.
up.
All I
am
have
much
to say
younger
is
than
you
her.
both look fantastic. Not that you needed to hear it from me, but I'm just saying. And to what you said before, the reason why I'm so obsessed with it, and probably why Josh is so obsessed with it, is because Josh used to be quite big. I'm still pretty big, but I used to be much bigger. So I think that people that have been really fat, when they're not really fat anymore, and they see a picture of themselves looking really fat, they're like, I just worked so fucking hard not to look like this, what is his name, Brendan Fraser in The Whale, and all of a sudden I'm looking over and I want to like wolf down a Subway footlong because I deserve it, right? But so yeah, that's more why like I think that like light cinch, you worked so hard. Let's look the way that you should look now.
Let's talk about fake busy people.
Oh my God.
It's the worst.
Wow. Okay. The first thing is, I think that in corporate America in particular, people love to take advantage of blocking their calendar. And all that I have to say is, if you're going to have the nerve to block your calendar, have just like the foresight to put it on private. Like, don't have your labels of like 90-minute lunch, need to take kid to school, coffee break. Like, that kind of stuff does not need to be put into a calendar. And I certainly don't need to see the titles of it. So that's one. The other is people who are really, 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 really busy don't have the time to tell you on a daily basis how busy they are.
Bingo.
They don't have the time to tell you. 2 weeks later, when you haven't returned their calls, like I have somebody that's right now chasing me. They're like, hey, you said that you'd hop on the phone with me a week ago. When are we having a call? And I promise I will text them back today saying, I'm so sorry. I've been so unbelievably hectic. 3 different states. I haven't had time mentally to approach this conversation yet because I am legitimately busy. Right. So if you have time to tell somebody how busy you are in the moment, you also have time to actually take that call, right? Like you can just pick up the phone for 5 minutes and give them what they want. Otherwise, you are actually too busy.
I agree. I think they're con artists, gaslighters. And
Yes.
if you have to announce to people, like Pumps' husband used to call her, her ex-husband, used to call her all the time to tell her how busy he was. And we'd be on my front porch smoking cigarettes back in the good old Marlboro Light days. And she would go like, if you're so fucking busy, then why are you calling me? Click.
Totally.
Yeah.
Totally. It's crazy. It's great. Also, sorry, people that call so much, stop calling me.
Yes.
Stop calling me. Send me a text. If you call me one time and I don't pick up, you better fucking text me why you called me. Because to rely on me to call you back to figure out why you called me in the first place when maybe you called me for no goddamn reason, I'm sorry. I've had it.
But I call so much more now because with these cell phone leaks, there's very little I want to put in writing.
Yeah.
So like, if you get a call from me, put the fucking stove on because the tea's coming. Because I'm about
But see, that's helpful because when you call me, you only call me to talk about things that are important.
That's right.
I only call you to talk about things that are important. We very rarely call each other just to shoot the shit because we acknowledge how busy each other is. But when you have that friend that is not that busy,
right,
that loves to just call and shoot the shit on a Wednesday at 1:30, I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's all fake. I refuse to believe it. And don't you guys find my most powerful friends, the people in my life who like can really, move markets, I get a call back immediately from them, not within reason, right? And it's like these fakers, these imposters, they're the ones who are like, first of all, don't you dare try to make plans with me in 3 weeks from now. It's not happening. I might not feel like it. How about that?
Right.
I might not be busy. I just might not like you in 3 weeks. So I don't know if I can make it. But I'll have parents try to do that with me. Like, hey, let's set up a play date like in mid-December. I'm like, you're nuts. You're nuts. Not happening.
Nope.
You're in the worst part of that too, because the parents trying to incorporate their kids in the kids they want their kids to be friends with lives, they're relentless. The parents are the worst part.
There's this thing now called social engineering that parents are doing where, like, Josh, maybe your kid, like at your school, the parents might be like, oh, that's Josh. He was the child actor. He has a bunch of Instagram followers. Little McKinsley, spelled Keinslee with an apostrophe over the back of it. You need to go be friends with Josh's kid. And they try to social engineer. I had never heard of this until recently. Or maybe the trust fund family has, that has a PJ and they invite friends to go on vacation. So the parents encourage the kids to befriend who the parents want the kids to be friends with. How fucked up is that?
Genius.
So smart.
Genius. I literally like can't wait to social engineer now that I'm thinking about it. Like, oh, like little Timmy's dad has 9 planes. Like, you better fucking be friends with him. Otherwise, what are you doing?
Yeah, my son's taking swim lessons at his friend's pool. We're not going to the public pool. What are you, nuts? Hell yeah. Like, great. Audrey's family has a pool. We're in.
Yeah,
They happen to be incredibly lovely people. We love them too. But, having a pool, that's nice.
Yeah, I'm just saying, like, you're well off enough. Max better not be going to a public pool. I'll kill you.
Okay, guys, now we're going to play a game with you called Had It or Hit It. So
Nice.
I'm going to list some stuff. If you don't like it, you will have had it. And if you like it, you'll hit it. Oh my God. Welcome to Had It or Hit It. I would hit it. Had it. I hit it every day, sometimes twice a day. Okay, the first one. Had it or hit it, inspirational quotes.
I've had it. Give me a flipping break. Inspirational. Just stop it already. First of all, we've all heard them before. Okay. They're all regurgitated. I love when people go, hey, don't have fear. You know what fear is an acronym for, right? False evidence appearing real. Somebody called Deepak Chopra because, like, I didn't know that I was here with the Maharishi. I'm like, save your dumb fucking acronyms. I'm like, you don't pay your taxes. You hate your kids. I know what's going on with you, hun. And like, yeah, so I'm over. I've had it.
And maybe write your own quote. Stop regurgitating.
Yeah.
Couldn't agree more. Write your own damn quote.
So true.
Ben, what about you? Had it or hit it, inspirational quotes.
Absolutely had it. Couldn't agree with Josh more. Exactly what he said is exactly what I'm thinking. I've had it. I've particularly had it, though, with Bible verses. I'm sorry. I know that's like adjacent. It's adjacent. But the inspirational quote, the Bible verse, anything that you're going to throw in your Instagram bio that's just going to live on in infamy for people to see the second that they see you, terrible. Just terrible. I have had it.
Let me tell you what we've done here. We have turned these inspirational quotes that you see on social media and people that list Bible quotes in their bio. We have advised our listeners to view these as red flags. Okay. Because Pumps and I had terrible pickers when we picked our mates with whom to breed. Okay. We were not good at it at all. So we're trying to reverse engineer how to be better pickers, now in midlife. So this, to younger listeners, if you see, somebody's Instagram feed and it's inspirational quotes, or when they talk, if it's a word salad of inspirational quotes, Bible quotes, immediately know that they are red flags. Now, I feel like I've learned enough that I would do better. Pumps.
No, I'm still a terrible picker after all this therapy and everything else.
Yeah.
I just have a terrible picker. I was just born with it. It's broken.
And if you see a tattoo, fucking run. If you see like a Bible verse on a wrist,
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Or nobody has like a live, laugh, love tramp stamp, do they? That doesn't exist.
I have to-
Something,
Does that
some
exist?
version of it. Sure, I would bet.
Oh my God.
I guarantee you somebody has it.
As evidenced to what a bad picker I have now, my husband's in recovery and we're super happy now. But I have to say, I think stone cold sober, he got the Om prayer as a tramp stamp. He has the Om prayer tattoo.
Oh, good.
Ramps.
In between rehab stints, he would kind of like, I'm going to go get tattoos. He's just like super compulsive. And he'd come home with all this saran wrap around him. So he has all of these like really bizarre tattoos in strange places. And like he'll have Chinese characters. And I'm like, what does that mean? And he used to make shit up. And now he's like, I don't fucking know. It's some shit I did when I really wanted to be taking Xanax and I couldn't fucking take it anymore. So I went and got tattoos.
Maybe it's just his favorite Chinese food order, and he goes up to the counter and just goes like this,
That would save so much time.
right? Yeah, just like
And,
right.
and the person reads it and they're like, oh, General Chow's chicken. Yeah. And especially if you have an affirmation or inspirational quote as artwork at your house, I'm like,
Oh.
hey, babe, glad you love home goods.
Yeah.
But the truth is, I'm not impressed.
You don't see any of those at Restoration Hardware. That's
No.
all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. They're playing these people. You walk into a TJ Maxx, exactly. You see a live, laugh, love. Nothing wrong with TJ Maxx, but if you're gravitating towards that and you're throwing that on your wall, what are you,
Nuts.
nuts.
Had it. Okay.
Had it.
All right. Had it or hit it podcasts.
I hit it. I consume a lot of podcasts, hours. I probably listen about an hour or two a day, almost to the point where it's like a crutch, like an emotional crutch. I'm like, I'm not going to shower without a podcast.
Right.
Or, yeah. Or I'm not going to like we have an olive tree in our front yard because I'm very wealthy. And and so of course 3 months out of the year it literally drops olives all day. So I'll sweep in the morning, and just when I have that my AirPod in my ear and I'm sweeping olives, I'm like, this is heaven. It's great. I'm listening to your podcasts, enjoying the sweeping.
I love it. Ben, what about you?
Hit It podcast. I will say that living in Manhattan, I don't have a commute, so I don't get to listen to as many podcasts as I wish I did, but certainly Hit It. But I've had it with people thinking that they can just launch podcasts. I've had it. I'm sorry, you can't. Your life is not that interesting. It's not. Like, it's not. Like, just because you think that somebody could relate to what you're doing, like, you can't. Stop. So
Yeah.
I hit good podcasts. I've had it with people thinking that they can make them. That it's so easy just to hold a wonderful, hilarious conversation like this beautiful group we are here. Like, this is not that easy. You can't do this, Marie. Like, I'm sorry. You can't.
Yeah, Marie.
Marie.
It's in the same vein as the fake entrepreneurship.
Yes.
It is.
Yes.
Mhm.
Yes.
And the people
Yes,
that are
they-
hype over editing, all of these people start going into one big category is what we've learned.
You guys will experience it too as incredible podcasters, something I've experienced for 20 plus years. When you're really good at something that has no barrier to entry, like Pumps, you're a lawyer. No one's going like, I've been thinking about being a lawyer.
Right.
I just got to go spend the next 5 years. Can I tell you, when people go, I'm thinking about getting into acting, I'm like, uh-huh. Like, are you? I just want to be like, I got nothing for you. So anyway, it was a random tangent. Go for it.
I like it. Okay. Had it or hit it, Ozempic.
Oh, on it.
Love it.
On it. Hit it. Hit it. Hit it. Hit it again. Hit it again. And I fucking had it with these, and I'm sorry if it's one of you lovely ladies, but I've had it with these skinny fucking people telling fat people what's good for them. Like, no, you have no idea the plight of being a fat person. You have no idea what it's like to have a food addiction. And when you have an addiction to anything else, you're praised for taking medicine, getting help, going to rehab, doing whatever it is. Food is an addiction. We live in a country where everything is loaded up with fucking sugar. You're supposed to, if you look at this beautiful pyramid that they've made, wake up in the morning, have an oatmeal with 900 teaspoons of brown sugar and supposed to feel great throughout the day and not have hunger cravings. I'm sorry, we're led astray in this country with too much sugar in our diets. And so what Ozempic does is it strips out the sugar from your bloodstream, and all of a sudden, a fat person feels normal. They all of a sudden are like, oh my God, I'm actually full. I don't need the third sandwich. I don't need to order everything on the menu because their brain isn't constantly tricking them. So hit Ozempic. I think it's unbelievable. Again, as somebody that's on it, and even if I wasn't on it, anything that helps people, makes them feel better. I don't know why people are so upset with the obese in this country finally feeling good about themselves. Like, what is it? You just want to keep people and like keep your foot on their neck and make them feel like, it's just so strange to me. And it's because I think skinny people feel that they have this moral high ground on fat people and they can't stand the fact that they're confident. So hit Ozempic. Clearly you struck a chord. And I've had it with these lunatics.
Pumps is on Mounjaro.
Mounjaro, yeah. I did the step up because I was nauseous on Ozempic, but I love it. I don't ever want to get off as long as I live.
Yeah, they say that Mounjaro is supposed to be like the king's Ozempic. Like, that is rich.
Yeah, the Kardashians.
It's supposed to be really good. And I don't know if you've experienced the same thing, but the hunger cravings in the brain going away and you realizing like, oh, I'm not going to die if I don't eat this entire menu is really pleasant. And I wonder if it's just what skinny people always feel like.
When the Ozempic thing came out, I was like, this is amazing. Like, this is incredible that people can get on it because I know the struggle is really real. And like you said, it is an addiction. So I have, look, people skirt the system in things all the time. Viagra, you have middle-aged men having 5-hour erections because of pharmaceuticals. Nobody says a word about it because the science that has gone into the penis has been fucking outstanding. I mean, off the charts. If they put that kind of science into cancer, it would be cured. But when it comes to obesity, everybody's, America's obese. This is a huge toll on the healthcare system and blah, blah, blah. And then when I heard that people were Ozempic shaming, I'm like, did you like Atkins diet shame somebody?
Right.
I mean, like, what's the difference? Like,
and America loves obesity though. Like, that's what people aren't talking about. Like, I'm not trying to create this like crazy narrative, but they love fat people. Fat people are sick more. Fat people take more medicine from big pharma. Fat people eat more. It's bigger bills. Like, there is nothing about somebody who is obese that doesn't line the pockets of the United States. I'm sorry, skinnier people just they're healthier. Like, what about life insurance? Like, it's just all of it. Like, the thinner you are, the healthier you are, the higher your quality of life. There's absolutely no question. So this idea that Mounjaro or Ozempic is bad, it's amazing. It really is.
I know. I was shocked by it myself. Okay. Had it or hit it, toddlers.
It feels weird saying I want to hit a toddler.
Hit him.
But yeah, I love it. I think kids are the best, 5 and younger. I mean, I have 2 right now, but I'm with it. Usually they say like, oh, I didn't fall in love with my kid until they could like throw a football. I'm not that way. I think babies are great. I think every stage is fun. And I just think it's unique. And I have no doubt that as they get older, every stage of your child is fun and interesting. But like, when are you going to have like a little smush that are cute and adorable?
Right.
Like, it's, I'm enjoying every minute of it. So I like it.
Let me ask you this. What do you think about toddlers with whom you do not share DNA?
Bingo.
Oh, great. Yeah, I mean, I've always loved kids, but to what we talked about, and maybe we talked about it on our podcast, Good Guys, but I'm heartbroken that there are people in my life that I've known for many years who I love that are friends whose kids I could do without. And it's not a great feeling because it also is reflective of, you guys can probably speak to this. Isn't it so fascinating, the person that you have a friend, you grow up with them, you go to high school, college, into your 20s, and then they pick a spouse and you go, really, Diane? You picked Joe? Like, Joe's really who does it for you? It's very revealing of who your friend is and what they really needed. And same thing with their kids. You have this friend, but then the way they parent could be totally different than the person you thought they were. So it's kind of it's weird. So I'd say 50-50, somewhere in the middle.
Okay. All right. This one, I'm really going to put you both on the spot with this, and I'm going to enjoy it so much. And you both individually have to answer it. Had it or hit it, porn?
Hit it.
From
behind.
Yeah. Same time. Really?
We openly talk about this stuff.
Okay.
I think it's and both of our mothers also listen to our podcast religiously. So
Shout out Barb.
Yes, and Ava. But hit it. It's a natural instinct. Again, it shouldn't be something that you hide. You mentioned this either on our podcast or on yours, where the truth is so important in a relationship. Again, you referenced it with kids. I wouldn't talk to your kids about your porn addiction. That's where I draw the line. But with your spouse, like if you have to hide something like that and you are a porn watcher, then perhaps that spouse isn't right for you, to be totally honest, because I do respect the fact that people take issue with porn, but you either take issue with porn or you don't take issue with porn. And we get this question on our podcast often about one spouse liking porn, the other not. Should I tell him not to watch porn? And it's like, no, you guys are just definitely not compatible, because that's like a very, very human instinct type of thing. And either you want to do it or you don't want to do it, but the mixing of it is very difficult. So hit it.
Yeah, I think it's a great tool. I always say to my wife, like, I could bother you. Like, you know, you should be buying stock in Pornhub, like, because this is good for our marriage. Yeah, I mean, I think, but I've certainly have friends who've overdone it, and it desensitizes them to the act. They lose interest in their spouse, and that's crazy, wild, insane, unacceptable. But if you can use it here and there, and then also have as much like passion for your mate, why not?
Yeah,
Right.
Agreed.
Do you guys watch porn?
I do not.
Very rarely.
What?
Well, I mean, like one time in 5 years. But I mean, I have watched it.
I mean, I've watched it before too. I don't
on a regular basis.
Yeah, I watch like men's tennis. That turns me on a lot more. I don't know if y'all have ever seen this guy named Matteo Berrettini. I mean, oh my God.
Jen's just like,
But
yeah,
wait, we have to get back to this. Wait, in the last 5 years, you watch porn?
Yeah, somebody told me there's a porn site for women like 5 years ago, and I got on there and I was
it's
like, okay.
called the Food Network. No.
How many minutes did you watch?
Maybe 2 or 3. I mean, I just got the gist.
Wow,
Like,
you
okay.
finished quickly. No, I'm kidding.
No, that was in my asexual phase.
Women, though, and I don't know if you guys read these juicy books, but I'm just saying women seem to be reading porn, even if they're not watching porn. Men don't read porn. We don't take these books like they're very hot, sexy. I don't remember what they're called, but there's a word for them.
Yeah.
And what is it?
Erotic.
Well, like a romance novel, erotica.
Okay, yeah, they're not
Erotica.
Not romance novels.
Penthouse Diary.
Yeah, it's porn. It's written porn.
Right. No,
So just saying, what I was trying to say was that women have alternative vices, even if they don't realize that they're watching porn. They're consuming some porn.
right. No, I agree with that because I've read some steamers.
Well, Josh and Ben, I love you guys. I could sit here and just fucking shit talk all day. It's so good. It's so therapeutic. I love it.
Thanks so much
Love
for
you.
being
Love you
on,
guys,
you guys.
too.
Thank you guys
Yeah,
for
thank
having
you.
us.
Thank you.
And come listen to you guys on our Good Guys podcast. You were nice enough to do ours as well. So this was great.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys. Bye.
Bye. They're amazing. They're so much fun.
I
Love
really
them.
like them because they're good guys.
They are
like
good
they
guys.
said, but also kind of assholes that can shit talk with us.
They're great shit talkers.
Because we're pretty good girls, but we're also kind of assholes.
right.
But the good kind of asshole.
The best of both worlds.
Where you can shit talk. You know what my favorite type of person is? A person that has some reasonable amount of positivity plus cynicism.
They have to have cynicism.
It can't be overtly positive,
Right.
but
Agree.
a reasonable amount of positivity, you know, like path the least resistance, a good problem solver, doesn't always have to be glasses half full, plus cynicism. And those guys embody the traits that I very much like. Good guys, not great, a little bit of assholes. Perfect. Loved them. Listen up, listener. Give us 5 stars on Apple. Go to our Hot Shit Tour. Link is in the bio. Send us a voice memo on Instagram and Pumps Tell 'em.
We will see you next Tuesday or Thursday or both.